friends, welcome to another episode of the Cozy Cottage Crochet Podcast. My name is Hannah and this is Nova. And this is a podcast all about crochet, a little bit of knitting, sometimes sewing, and generally living the yarniest life possible in St. Petersburg, Florida, where I live. You say, hi, how are you?
Hello.
Hello. Are you eating snacks?
Yes.
Are we going to record a podcast?
Yes.
Yay. Noah, who's on your shirt?
Go Spider.
Go Spider. Is that your favorite of Spidey? Get your favorite drink. I have a ginger ale because my stomach is upset. And also because I really need some sugar because I'm so tired. Oh, you way over there. If you're looking for me anywhere on the interweb, you can find me as the Cozy Cottage Crochet on Instagram or on Facebook. I am the Cozy Cottage on Ravelry, and if you have anything to say about the podcast, please shoot me an email. That's the best way to get a hold of me. My email address is thecozycottagecrochet@gmail.com. That sound is Nova taking her sandals off. Are you taking your shoes off? You want to put your stinky toes on the podcast? Oh, you're so silly. What snacks do you have today?
And then blueberry pouch.
Can you say it again?
Pretzels.
Popcorn?
Blueberries.
Blueberries?
M&M's.
M&Mms?
Pouch.
A
And
pouch?
pretzels.
And pretzels? All your favorite things?
So.
You're up? It has been a crazy couple of weeks as always, but a little less crazy because there hasn't been that much work done on the house. We're still waiting on the roof, to be fair, to be fixed. But they did do all the plumbing rough-in and the electrical. So we passed plumbing inspection yesterday. We have electrical today. Or maybe we passed electrical yesterday and we have plumbing today. I can't keep up. The roof is supposed to start any day now, which is what they've been saying for a week and a half. Oh, that is too tight. Too tight, you're choking me. Gentle, please. So I have some things to tell you. I have a finished object. You saw it last time, but it wasn't blocked, and there's such a big difference I have to show you. And I have 2 crochet and 2 knitting projects, and 1 very crazy baby. Yeah. So let's start with, don't bang on the table, please. You'll make the people seasick. The finished object is actually my Alina shawl, which I showed you this last time because it was done. Don't bang on the table, baby. Don't bang on the table. You can bang on the couch. Yes. And I blocked it. Now, last time, you remember how small it was? All rumply and crumbly and small. Always block your lace, you guys. When I soaked this, I want to say it doubled in size. Like, I can't even fit it on the screen anymore. Look at how big it is. Whoa. Don't bang on the table. Hey, look, I'll show you. This is where the tripod is. You have to be very careful not to knock it or it will make a big noise, okay? This is for mommy. Go find a toy.
I want to wear it.
You can't wear it right now. You can wear it later. So, you can see the scalloped edge is like perfect, like ocean waves. The lace mesh is perfect. I'm showing you the wrong side. I have weaved in the ends, I just haven't trimmed them off yet. So it probably goes this way. Yeah. This is made in less than 100 grams of lace weight yarn. This is Malabrigo in the colorway Wales Road. It's Malabrigo lace, which is 100% merino. This is how much I have left. Leave it close, please. Just a nug. So I think that this will be perfect, actually. This is probably about 10 grams. I'm actually really happy with that because it will give me a little wiggle room when I write up this pattern for differences in gauge, because I tend to crochet very tightly, and I still think you could get this entire shawl, no problem, including border, out of 100 grams of lace weight yarn. And it is huge. And this is what it looks like if you wear it kind of asymmetrically. Kind of looks like this. Maybe not exactly like that, because you probably don't have a 2-year-old climbing on your back when you're trying to wear. Oh, don't spit on me. Chew your food, please. Chew it and swallow it before you start laughing hysterically and you choke. So this is what it looks like. Gentle, gentle. Thank you. And I am really excited to have it done. Have I written up the pattern? Nope. And I don't know when I'm going to. I really want to write it up now, but I was going to say I don't have time to write it up, but that's not entirely true. I do have a little bit of time. Hey, you're being very loud. Quiet. You can sit on my lap, but I don't want you to choke me, okay? It doesn't feel good to mommy. Yeah. I have about 45 minutes after she goes to bed where I could probably write it up 1 or 2 nights a week. But by then my brain is so fried that pretty much I just sit and stare at a wall. My husband plays video games. Maybe we watch an episode of something. Be gentle. Were you doing my hair? You're singing? Do you want to sing your ABCs? Wow, that was Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. In case you couldn't tell, because not a single word of that was enunciated properly. She can't actually sing the entire thing with all the words, but it doesn't normally sound like that. I've just been so brain dead I haven't done it. So I love that this has a long tail on it, because I am always fidgeting with my shawls and I will just be doing this constantly with this. But what I really like about this on a shawlette is you can tie it to this piece over here if you're wearing it the way I am, and then it will just fit under there and it will stay perfectly all day. So it's not a complicated pattern. I just need to write it up, and I think it probably needs a chart for the border, which will be a bit of a pain, but I really, really like it. I'm also really happy to have it finished because I've been working on it for quite some time. Although it doesn't really count as finished, does it? Because I haven't taken photos and I haven't written the pattern. But it's closer to being done than it was, which I'm very, very excited about. So there's 3 other projects. There's 4 other projects to tell you about. I have a knit cardigan, a crochet cowl, and a knit pair of socks. I did start a new pair of socks. As you remember last time, I finished 2 pairs of socks on the last episode that have been on the needles since December. So 5 months those socks have been worked on. I have only started 1 pair of socks because my yarn stash is pretty much inaccessible at the moment. It's kind of accessible. It's not like outside or behind furniture, but it's behind a bunch of stuff that we had to move out of our room for the construction to happen. So it would require moving a lot of things to get to it. So I had already had this yarn out because I knew this was going to be my next pair of socks once I finally finished those 2 pairs. And I have a little baby start of a sock. So the yarn is Cupcake Yarns. This is the tag. This was a gift from a lovely viewer of this podcast called Leslie. Hi, Leslie. This is a superwash merino 75%, 25% nylon base. And it is a self-striping Hunger Games colorway named Rue, R-U-E. I must admit, I only ever watched the first Hunger Games and I didn't read any of the books. So I don't know what this means, but I love that it was self-striping and I've wanted to use this for quite some time. So this is what it looks like. I love it when sock yarn, specifically self-striping sock yarn, comes in this ball. You can see it's a little bit mangled. That is because someone who shall not be named got a hold of it and tried to de-ball it. I managed to rescue it from her clutches. And I pulled out a mini from my mini stash, which, oh, almost is the same color as this red. This is a mini, whoa. I'm so glad these needle stoppers are on, because otherwise I would have had a sock off the needles just now. This is a Sorella mini skein from the advent calendar that I got from her in 2021. Yes, 2021. So I thought it matched perfectly, and I just want to say that both of these yarns are amazing to knit with. This Sorella mini skein, I think I've used one other mini skein out of that advent calendar and had the same experience. It is so plump and squishy, and like, it just feels so good in my hands. And then this yarn also feels so good. So I have really been enjoying it.
Want some corn?
I want some corn. I'll eat some corn. Let me see. Crunchy and delicious. So yeah, I started it. I did my 15 rounds of 2x2 ribbing. Are you showing the corn? Here, back up a little bit. If you come up here, you can show the corn properly. Hello, what's in your hand?
Corn.
Corn. Do you like to eat corn?
Alaska.
Yes.
Alaska. 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 I'm way over here.
You're way over there. No one can see you. She's going through some phase where she's not enunciating her words at all. At all. So 15 rounds 2x2 ribbing. Then I did about 15 rounds of stockinette. And I wasn't thinking when I started this, but the reds aren't exactly the same. I'm about to start a red stripe from this. And they look almost the same on camera, but this one is ever so slightly lighter. So I realized I didn't want the red to be next to the red of the cuff, heel, and toe. But I had already started knitting the sock. If I had thought about this in advance, I would have wound it off so that the gray stripe was first, and then red, and then blue, and then green. But I didn't. And I was not about to pull the sock out. So halfway through this, I was like, oh no. So I just split the gray stripe for the, around the heel, which is a fish lips kiss heel. I was going to make the cuff on these a little bit taller, like 20 rounds instead of 15 rounds. Are you okay? Are you choking?
Yeah.
And you have hiccups? Wow. There's a lot going on in your little body. So I split. You can barely tell. But I've got gray on both sides of the heel before I start the red. So it'll be fine. I just wasn't thinking when I started these, but I really, really have been enjoying this. I have a lot of weddings to come up that I am officiating. So I have one tonight, one tomorrow morning, one Saturday morning, and one Monday night. So I may have only 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes for each of those weddings, but this will be with me in the car, so I'll at least get a couple of stitches done on that. The next project I am working on is a crochet project that you have not seen before. Just living in this lovely little bag. This came from, thank you. This came from my friend Amanda, and inside the yarn also came from my friend Amanda when we were together. So what happened was, my family went in October to Orlando for a couple of days, and Amanda, who is from up north, was supposed to be in Orlando at the same time for a conference for her work. But then the conference got canceled because there was a Hurricane Ian coming through. And we were without power for 4 days, but then the conference got canceled, but Amanda still decided to go to Orlando for those couple of days. So we still got to go together because my family still went to Orlando. And actually it was great because the place had power and we didn't. The place we were staying. So we got together, we got to spend a whole day together knitting and crocheting. And we went to 4 Pearls Yarn Shop. Don't bang on the table, please. Bang on the couch if you want to. And she got me this skein of yarn at 4 Pearls. And this is La Bien-Aimée yarn. I believe it's 100% merino. Let's see. It is not. It is not. It's 75% merino, 25% nylon in the colorway Hella. And I've never had La Vietnamese yarn before. It's like pretty famous yarn in Europe. I mean, there's a few places that carry it in the US. She is a dyer in Paris. And the reason I had to get it is because it's so neon. This is like one of my favorite colors of all time. So I am working on a new design and I'm excited to show it to you. It's going to be a cowl. This is what I've got so far. Let me make sure this is the right side. Now it's lace, so you can see that it's kind of crumpled together. I'm kind of obsessed with this lace pattern. This is how it's going to be. I'm going to make a long version like this that just kind of hangs, because that's how I like my cowls, and then a short version that can only wrap once. No, thank you. That belongs to mommy. But I do want to show you what the swatch looks like. Be careful, you're leaning on the tripod. I don't want it to fall and hit you. This is what it looks like before you block it. Pretty nice. But this is what it looks like after you block it. Perfection. It's so pretty. I love this shell pattern. It is pretty simple. It's only a 4-row repeat. I actually got the stitch pattern itself out of a stitch dictionary called Crochet Every Way. Stitch dictionary? Crochet Every Which Way? I don't even remember. I did modify it a little bit though, because the stitch pattern as written was really unstable. Like there wasn't a lot connecting the rows in between the lace shells. So I modified it somewhat to make it a little more sturdy, so that it would just be easier all around. So I have done 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. So this is like a third. It's like a third of how big the cowl will be. And I have this much yarn left, so it should, in theory, be enough yarn. I really am just loving working on it so much. Are you laughing? Or are you just being dramatic? Take a breath. I don't want you to choke, please. Do you need some water?
Mommy.
There you go. So that's just been really fun to work on in this project bag with this yarn. Remembering the times in Orlando, it was just really, really, really fun. Do you have something you would like to tell the people?
Yeah.
What do you want to say?
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday.
Happy Mother's Day!
Happy Mother's Day. Mother's Day was just last week. That was very sweet of you. Thank you for saying Happy Mother's Day. Hello, hello, hello. So I have worked on a crochet cardigan and a knit cardigan as well. The knit cardigan is not even quite as big as it was the last time you saw it, because I frog some of it. This is not where it was last time. This is where it was 2 times ago. And I had knit probably 10 or 12 rows on the body of this, but I ripped them out because the yarn was pooling a little bit and I didn't like it. So I ripped back to the underarms and then I reattached 2 different balls of yarn. And now I'm alternating skeins a little bit differently. So it's not really pooling anymore, which makes me very, very, very happy. This is my super bulky grandpa cardigan by Joji Locatelli, except this is my second version and I'm doing it in bulky yarn. This is Cece's wool in the colorway Monster Mash, which was a Rhinebeck colorway. I don't know why this is taking me so long. My Lord, wild child. I'm gonna call you Wild Thing. Yeah. Have you ever had that book where the wild things are? She's a wild thing. The most wild thing of all. So I really, really love this. You can see that it's alternating. I see you have all the bags, as long as you don't try to open them. So hopefully I'll make some progress. I'm on row like 10, I think, of the body, and I need to get to like 60 rows before the bottom hem. It's not that many rows and it is bulky yarn. but I don't have like tons of motivation to work on this. Just want to crochet on that cowl, really.
There's something else.
So that's what I've been working on for the knit cardigan. Just a blip on the radar. Very happy to have that ripped back and started again. Hopefully I can get to the end of the 60 rows. Hi, baby. What do you have, an owl?
And bags.
Yes, you have the bags. So this is the last project that has been getting my love. This is also from Amanda. I was talking about this last time. This is a project bag and the yarn was from her. And I was going to make the Lau cardigan with this, but I just couldn't like make it work. And then I was maybe gonna make a blurred line sweater with that, but I can't make pullovers right now because I am pregnant. I don't know what size my body is gonna be at the end of this, so it'd just be pointless to try to make a pullover unless it's super oversized. I don't know where we're gonna settle out, so I need to take a year off of making sweaters. No, don't take this one, please. So what I am making instead is the Heckler cardigan, which is a paid for pattern. It is on Ravelry. Hopefully I can find the front page of it. This is kind of what it looks like. I am fading, you can see that's color blocked and like striped in the pattern. I am not color blocking or striping it, I am fading it. I have gone past where the sleeve split is and continued to work a little bit. There are 3 balls of yarn attached to this currently. So this may be a little bit tricky. Ugh, I've already lost one to show you. But these 2 are attached with clips. So this is where I was before. I finished the entire yoke split for the sleeves and I've started fading in the second one. I'm not significantly fading it, meaning I'm not alternating for every row for quite a while because I don't want to weave in all those ends. I'm basically doing like 1 row fade, but that's okay. I did the entire first skein with only this much left. This much left. I didn't think that was enough to do an entire body row and sleeve rows. So I just kind of split the yarn. I'm gonna try this on. This is where we are at right now. Oops. It's a little awkward because there's balls of yarn underneath this. So it fits pretty well. The sleeves fit. I'm pretty happy with it. I really like the color. If I can. This is my yarn management, which of course is coming undone. It will be a little easier to manage once I get more of the body and the sleeves done. So my yarn management for the sleeves, which will be a little bit easier once it grows, is I have each ball in a plastic baggie and clipped with a chip clip to the underarm so that these 2 do not get tangled while I'm working on the body, because I'm working on it simultaneously, all top down, the whole thing. So body, I just finished some body rows. I'm about to do the sleeve rows for the same thing on each sleeve. And then the body ball is just hanging out over here, which kind of is a mistake because it's already unraveling. I split this ball into 3, 1 part for the body, 2 parts for the sleeves, and I will be doing that for the rest as well. So I've got this first color, this is the second color. Wow. What is that sound you're making? This is the 3rd color, the 4th color, and I'm hoping that the entire 5th color I can use as, hey, that's too loud. The entire 5th color I can use as the collar and the sleeve cuffs. And I should still have a little bit of the 5th color left over. Hopefully, because I don't think I'm gonna make it quite as long as the pattern calls for. Speaking of the pattern, I posted this on Instagram and a couple people were like, oh my gosh, what's the pattern? And I was like, well, I will tell you. However, I really don't recommend that you make it unless you know what you're doing. If you are very experienced crocheter and / knitter, you know how to modify patterns, you know what fits your body, that kind of thing, go for it. If you don't, this pattern will be a nightmare to you. There is one measurement in the entire pattern, and it's just for the bust. There's no schematic, there's no photos really other than the first page and like some kind of tutorial photos for a pocket, which I will not be adding. The instructions are translated from another language, so they're not only translated, but they're a little bit sparse, and several of the rows are just wrong. Like, I was able to fudge it no problem because the numbers itself was right as far as I could tell, but the pattern, like, it was like do so many double crochets and then work 2 double crochet in 1 stitch this many times, but the this many times was wrong. Like, when you got to the end of the row, there was not enough stitches left to do that, and one of the rows was not translated. So one of them is still in another language.
You're pretty.
You're very pretty. Thankfully, it was one of the not increased rows, so I knew it was just double crochet in every stitch, so it was no problem. And then after I split for the sleeves, one of the rows had the wrong number count, and I did the math for it, and I was like, there's no way that's correct. So I think it's going to be beautiful, but I highly don't recommend this pattern unless you really, really know what you're doing and you like a challenge. Do you want to wear this?
Yeah.
Come here. You need to be very gentle with this because it belongs to Mama, okay? Be gentle. So that's the Heckler. I've wanted to make it for a couple of years, and I'm really glad I'm making it. I'm really happy with it. I think it's gonna be gorgeous when it's done. I'm gonna do some modifications because I can never,
pretty.
you are pretty with your scarf. I can never leave well enough alone.
Pretty.
You are pretty. You're beautiful. Inside and out.
Yeah.
You're not? Don't jump too far forward. You're gonna fly off the couch. I don't know what I was saying. Gosh. This is what it's like having a toddler around all the time. And I imagine what it will be like having a toddler and a baby around all the time. I just can never finish a thought. Don't spit. That's yucky. We do not do that. Not nice. We keep our tongue in our mouth, please. Yes. Tongue stays in your mouth. In your mouth. So, I couldn't even finish the thought about not finishing thoughts. When you have a kid. You have hiccups again?
Yeah.
Is your tummy okay?
Yes.
My goodness. She's been getting hiccups nonstop the last couple of days. Well, she used to get constantly when she was little. She would just cry and cry and cry and have hiccups all the time. I think she had pretty significant reflux. So, what a mess. I hope this baby doesn't struggle with that because that was really rough. So, yeah. I don't know what I was saying about the Heckler cardigan other than it's quite a complicated pattern. I mean, it's not, but it is because there's not very clear instructions. And there's not a lot of information over there to help you. And also, it's translated from a language that's not English. Okay, we're not going to drag this on the floor. That's Mommy's special scarf. PSA, if you have a baby who gets hiccups all the time or a 2-year-old, gripe water works wonders. We went through bottles and bottles and bottles of this stuff when she was tiny because she would get the hiccups just constantly, and they weren't like fun hiccups, like, oh, so cute. They were like painful acid hiccups. Like you could smell the acid coming off her breath, the stomach acid. And it was really uncomfortable for her. And this would get rid of her hiccups, which was just the best. So, there's more. There you go. All done with the hiccups. You want to give Minnie Mouse some medicine?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm working on the Heckler in the next couple of weeks. I hope to have some progress on the Heckler cardigan, definitely some progress on that cowl because that's really the only thing I want to work on, and probably on the socks. I don't know about that super bulky grandpa cardigan. Maybe a little bit of progress. Maybe if I can get another 10 rows done. I would really, really like to have that done before the baby is born so that I can cast on for the V-neck boxy by Hohi Locatelli. But the V-neck boxy yarn is buried in my yarn stash. So am I even going to be able to get to it? I don't know. The construction is supposed to be going on until the end of like July. I just don't know. Everything feels a little crazy, a little bit up in the air right now. I got one piece of happy mail, and it is something that I ordered, and it's something that I mentioned last time that I wanted to show you. And so I bought this. I purchased it with my own dollars. Even though I am, as I said last time, I'm an affiliate now for the company Twice Sheared Sheep, which some of you checked out their stuff and made a couple of Mother's Day orders, which I thought was so fabulous. Their commission is really excellent. Like whatever you order, I get like 20% of it eventually, which is pretty crazy. But I really like that company because it was founded by a mom, and almost all of the employees who work there are moms with little kids themselves. And so that's just a big deal to me. But I saw this on their website when we were discussing being an affiliate, and I was like, this is life-changing. This is what I need. So this is a sock ruler. It is a slap bracelet, which is hilarious. I will never be using this as a slap bracelet. 99% sure I will not be using this as a slap bracelet. But it's a sock ruler that tells you when to start the toe on different size socks. So let me see this one, please. I'm going to show you on the one sock that I am currently working on, even though the heel is just barely done. So what you do is you place the sock arrow with the end snug against the heel of your sock, like this, and then you stretch it. You don't stretch it, you don't want to pull it too far, right? But you work it to the line where the size is, and then you do your toe decreases. Or you begin the heel if you're working toe up. Both ways will work. I wish I had a little bit bigger of a sock to show you on. But it has kid sizes, 4 all the way through 13. It has women's sizes, and it has men's sizes. So you would put the arrow end, this is the end that goes snug against the heel of your foot. So this is how long I would work the sock. I want to find out, no, mommy needs this. Mommy is using that, thank you. You need to use something else. I want to measure that actually and see if that's how long I work my socks before I start the heel. Because I have a pretty good calculation as to how long mine is. It's a little bit longer. A little bit longer than mine. But I think it's such a cool idea. Like if you're making, you're gonna fall off the couch, baby. If you're making a size sock for somebody, like based on US sizes, these are only US sizes, but men size 6 through 15, women size 5 through 12, kids size 4 through 13, this just tells you when to stop and start the toe. And I think that is so cool. And it's a slap bracelet. So if you want to look at this, I recommend. I will put a link to this down below in the drop down. Actually, now that I think about it, that is probably the right. So I measured, it was almost 7-ish inches from this arrow to size 8. And I typically work my foot.
It's on here.
It's on there. I typically work my foot about 5 5/8 inches before I start the toe. But that's not including the heel, which is a couple of inches. So I bet you that's right on the money. I bet you that's right on. I'm going to test it with this pair of socks, and then I will let you know the outcome. I'm going to put this in my sock bag right now. But I will leave a link directly to this specific sock ruler below if you want to check it out. I just thought it was such a cool invention. I only make socks for me and for my mom. But my mom has slightly smaller feet than I do, and so it's a little bit tricky to get a fit on her feet, and I think I'm going to try using that. Because my feet are an 8 and hers are like 6.5. But she has long toes, so it just depends. Nova. I have not left or moved. You're the one hiding. So that's the Happy Mail. I just thought that was really cool. And I had to try it. And I will be trying it with this pair of socks and any other pair of socks that I knit for anyone else, for sure. I may be knitting. With Nova, I knit a Mommy and Me matching pair of socks in some Harry Potter Hufflepuff yarn. So I knit myself a pair of socks that I still wear, and I wore them in the hospital when I had her. And I knit her a little tiny pair of stretchy socks, like this long, which she only wore maybe once or twice. But I have them because they're a little heirloom to me. And I'm gonna do the same thing, I think, for this baby. Knit a tiny stretchy pair of socks. And yeah, I see you. And a pair of socks that I can wear in the hospital, because that will be really special. Are we gonna have a baby?
Yes.
Yes? Do you want to come tell the people about the baby?
Hello. Bye-bye, baby.
No, the baby's in my belly.
Bye-bye.
Is it a baby brother?
Daddy.
No. That's not where the baby is. Those are my breasts.
Those are your boobs.
Yes. This is the bump. The bump date. There's definitely there and unable to. Wow, this couch is a disaster. Just like my life. I don't know, thank you. This is not for Nova. You have that much energy without sugar. Mommy has barely this much energy with sugar. So we are 23 weeks pregnant today, which means there's 17-ish weeks left. Nova came at 39 weeks and 6 days, 1 day early from her due date. So who knows what this baby will do. Hopefully around the same, hopefully not over. It's a boy. If you were here last time, you know that. We found out it was a boy right before I recorded. But if you weren't here last time, it's a boy. So we're gonna have a girl named Nova and a boy named Noah, because that is the only name my husband and I have agreed on 11, almost 12 years of marriage. We have not agreed on a middle name yet, but once we do, I'll let y'all know. I have saved literally everything that I could possibly save from when Nova was tiny. There's a few things that either wore out or broke, or we just used them too much. And there was a couple onesies that could not be saved from the blowouts that you had out of your butt. You had so many blowouts. You went through a period of blowouts where you blew out of your diaper, up your back, up your front, up your sides, every single day. You had to sit next to me, okay? You can't sit on top of me right now. So there were, I scrubbed a lot of poop out of a lot of onesies. We have all of those. So truthfully, it is about 40 minutes later than the last clip. Noah freaked out, and then she banged her head into something, and then there was a lot of tears, and then she had to go potty, but she didn't want to go potty, so that was the whole thing. And then I put her to bed. And then I cried because I'm feeling overwhelmed today. So anyways, it's been a bit of a drama. She's been in bed for about 20 minutes. She is not sleeping. She's sitting up in her crib. But I hope she goes to sleep because clearly she needs a nap. And I think I do as well. I have no idea what I was saying last time. I think I was talking about how we're gonna have a baby named Nova and a baby named Noah. And this one's coming in September. Oh, I know, I was talking about poop onesies. Yes, so my best friend is pregnant also. She was pregnant at the same time as me with Nova, and we had our babies 3 days apart. And we're actually pregnant at the same time again now, which is crazy. I think I may have the baby sooner than her this time by a couple days, but we'll see, you never know. They don't know what they're having. They're gonna find out when the baby is born. So it would be really convenient if they have a girl and we have a boy, because then we will just swap sets of clothes because we both saved everything. But if she has another boy, then obviously she'll keep her boy clothes and I will pass on the girl clothes to someone else who needs them. Because I have saved everything that Nova has ever owned or worn. Aside from the onesies that could not be saved from poop. I tried so hard. I really want to save a few of the onesies, especially the really tiny ones, and actually cut squares out of them, the fronts of them, the cute ones, and sew them together to make a little blanket for her. Because I think that would be really cute and special. And it's not quilting necessarily, it would be more like just a soft onesie material blanket that I could put some jersey on the back of. And I would sew all the little squares together, maybe like a, you know, like a toddler-sized blanket. And then at certain points in the blanket, just tack it down so it stays together. I'm thinking about doing that. When? I have no idea. I need to go through all the onesies and pull them out. I know we had, when she was really little, we had some gender neutral clothes and some boy clothes that she wore because one of my other friends had a baby boy like a year before her and passed them along to us. So she wore a lot of boy onesies and sleepers and stuff when she was really tiny. So I have to pull all of those out and see what, if anything, I can salvage, save, keep for this baby. I have all the big stuff. I did make an Amazon registry. Last time with Nova, I used Target and I really loved them. But Amazon has a really cool feature where if you can enable group gifting, so if something's like on the pricier side, you can actually enable multiple people to like all chip in to give towards a gift, which I thought was a really cool feature. And they also have a diaper fund where you can like chip in to get diapers, which I thought was great. I realized like with Nova, I put all kinds of stuff on the registry, like toys and games and things, like all of the things, right? But I didn't think about, because I had never had a baby before, things like gripe water, which we went through cases of with Nova, infant Tylenol, infant ibuprofen, gas drops. I think I had some breastfeeding supplies on there, but not a ton. Like, and now that I have nursed a baby, I'm like, holy cow, like that requires so much crap. Nursing a baby, you have to have the nursing pads and you have to have the milk bottles, the milk collecting bags to freeze them in, and the little nipple pad things and the nipple butter, and I found these things called silverettes, which are apparently amazing for your nipples. Sorry, that's TMI. I'm hoping they are amazing. I'm hoping we don't have the same breastfeeding journey as I did with Nova. Hopefully not. I'm going to see a lactation consultant when this baby comes out. And maybe this baby will not get vacuumed. So therefore this baby may not have latch issues like Nova did. It's just going to be different all around. But so many things for that. Like one of the things I really wish I would have had with Nova is called Haka, which is like it's kind of like a pump, but it just uses gentle suction to like pull some of the milk out. And I had a significant oversupply at the beginning, which I knew nothing about. I had no idea, and it was COVID, so there was nobody helping anybody at that point. And I have now realized if this happens again, which it probably will when my milk comes in for this baby, to use that to take some of the pressure off so that it's easier for the baby to latch. Like this thing is like $20, $24. That would have saved me such a headache with Nova had I known, but I didn't know. And there's so many things you don't know. There's just so many things you don't know. So I've made an Amazon registry. Please don't feel obligated to even look at it if you don't want to. But I know some of you have asked, and many of you supported us with Nova in a way that still blows me away. Oh, I'm gonna cry. I'm so emotional today. I don't want to cry. She was set because of y'all. Like from everything from the mattress in her crib to the sheets that she still sleeps on, which I did put some new, I did put a new mattress and like sheet protectors or mattress protectors and sheets because she's been sleeping on them for 2.5 years and they are worn out. But I don't want to buy more because she's about to move into a big girl bed. the bouncer seat that she was in constantly, the car seat, the stroller, all of it was because of y'all. Her clothes, a lot of her bottles, just everything. And I wanted to save it all for a new baby anyways, but I also really just wanted to respect and value that those were gifts and make sure that they were really taken care of. So I have everything I could have possibly saved from her. If you want to look at it, you can. I'll leave a link directly down below. So there's an Amazon list. And there is a separate small list that I have made on a website called SoKind. And it is a registry for non-tangible items. And the things that I have put on that are like lactation support, meals after the baby is born, cleaning, pelvic floor physical therapy. Just there's like 5 or 6 things that are not a tangible baby item, but that I am trying to organize a little bit of before the baby comes. And I think it's really cool that there's a website that lets you do that kind of thing. But you don't have to look at that either if you don't want to. If you want to, the links will be in the drop down. And anything that comes in, I will show you guys because y'all loved the baby stuff last time. I loved it too. I mean, oh my gosh, so cute. I can't believe 17 weeks left. That's like 4 months. That's crazy. And the baby is about to start gaining weight. So the baby is about the size of a papaya right now and about 1 pound. In the next 4 weeks, per my app, the baby will triple in weight. So this baby is 1 pound now. It'll be 3 pounds by the end of June, maybe more. That's crazy. It's gonna be, I bought myself a neck fan. It is so hot outside already here. It's 85 degrees today outside, not a cloud in the sky. It's just, it's a lot. It's a lot, and I have been saying it's a lot since the beginning, and I know it's gonna be a lot, and I knew it was gonna be a lot. And I'm trying to take it one day at a time. And some days are great, and some days like Tuesday, I was so sick. I could barely move. Poor Nova. I think that's half the reason she's so crazy and like won't leave me alone at all. She has to be like right here. Is because I just haven't been able to focus on her like I normally do because I'm so tired and so sick, which I mentally understand is fine. It's just a season. We're just gonna get through it. Like, we've got 4 more months and this baby will come out. It's just a season of being pregnant. We have a couple more months and the construction will be done. It's just a season of having construction. Like, I intellectually understand it, but emotionally it's hard. And I was just talking to my therapist about this on Monday. The thing that is hardest for me, there's 2 things that are the hardest for me in being a parent. One is the constant overstimulation, which I am quite sure is going to get 100 times worse when this baby comes out. Because I'm a highly sensitive person, and like constant touch and noise and sounds and constantly being needed is really hard on my nervous system. So that's difficult. The other thing that is difficult is that there just is not enough time and not enough resources to do everything or even most of the things. Like, I was just talking to someone about work, and like I get 3 hours Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then Friday mornings when my mom watches Nova. That's pretty much my work time. I have to somehow squeeze 40 hours of work into that, which is impossible. But I leave those 3 hours generally feeling super, super drained because I'm working at such a high intensity level, which then makes me not really able to show up very nicely for Nova immediately. Thankfully, she goes down for a nap. But I used to then work during her nap time before I got pregnant and do like social media and stuff like that for my job. And since being pregnant, I have had to sleep when she sleeps because I just cannot function, which is necessary and needed. Like, I fully understand that I need to sleep or I'm gonna have a mental breakdown. I get it. So I am choosing to do that. But it also means that all the social media stuff is just not getting done. And I can't reconcile that. Like, I can't reconcile there are things that need to happen that are not happening, and they're not going to happen, not while I'm pregnant, not when I have a new baby. And it is not as simple as being like, just ask for help. Because yes, I try to. There are people that are helping me, which is wonderful. But there's also things that if I don't do them, don't get done. And that's just how it is. And I know if you're a parent, you know that this is true. And I'm preaching to the choir. But that's just like, childcare is not affordable. Therefore, this is what the setup is, right? Like, and it kills me that we're still arguing about like whether we should have by law maternity leave in this country, like paid maternity leave for people, or whether we should have funded childcare. Like, it kills me that we're still arguing about whether or not we should have that, because to me, maternity leave and childcare is infrastructure. Like, and I have heard people who don't have kids complain, like, I don't want my tax dollars to pay for other people's choice to have kids. And I'm like, that's like illogical to me. I'm sorry, I'm getting on a soapbox. Let's continue, shall we? It's illogical to me because like our tax dollars pay for roads all over the place. Like in the state of Florida, my tax dollars pay for roads all over the state of Florida, most of which I will never drive on. Does that mean that there shouldn't be roads there? No, there should be roads, right? That's what we're paying for. Also illogical because if Americans stop having children, then we do not have a society. So like the childbirth rate has gone pretty down. And so if we want to keep having a country, we're going to have to keep having some kids. But what do we do with the kids? Because it's no longer possible for most families to survive on one income. It's just not possible in today's society, especially post-COVID. And the childcare costs are so astronomical that even if you want to work, like your job isn't even going to pay for your childcare. So like, what's the point of working other than maybe to like feel like a human and a person? So to me, childcare is infrastructure. Like if you want the country to progress, then you need to have safe, affordable childcare available to people who have small children. And like we do this from pre-K through 12th grade. Why do we not do this for small children? And actually, we did this in World War II, in World War I, when all the women had to start working, and because all the men were overseas fighting wars, obviously a generalization, but like a huge majority of men went overseas to fight the war, right? A lot of women had to go work in the factories. Instantly, society was like, oh my gosh, who's taking care of these kids? We need to have childcare centers. And they popped up everywhere. They were funded, they were affordable, they fed the children, they even, some of them bathed them and took them to doctor's appointments and things like that. And then as soon as all the men came home and the women were like, oh, we're not, it all just disappeared. So it's possible as a country to do this. I hope I see it in my lifetime, because every mom I've talked to has had an issue with this. I haven't talked to a lot of dads, because in my circles, most of the dads are working, and most of the moms are the ones who are either staying at home because childcare costs, or they're trying to work from home and have their babies, which is just ridiculous. Like I could barely get a podcast recorded with Nova because she's right here, let alone any kind of job other than the one I'm doing. So the majority of people I've talked to about this have been moms, and they are just like, I don't know what to do. Like, I feel like my hands are tied. So it's a mess. It's a mess in our society. And I know some of you are from like different countries where this is not a problem at all. You have like all kinds of maternity leave, not just 3 months, you have like a year. Yeah. We don't have that, which I don't understand it on a molecular level. I am trying to do things very differently this time. When Nova was born, we had scraped together 6 weeks for me to be off of my job at the law firm. And I had called in every favor I possibly knew to take off from speaking at the church for 5 weeks. One of which was the week before she was born. So at 4 weeks postpartum, I started speaking again at church. And at the end of 6 weeks, I went back to work full-time at the law firm, and she had to go with me, and the agreement kind of changed. Like, I was supposed to be able to work from home more than I ended up working from home. So she had to go with me to the office a lot, and she hated it. And so it's gonna be different this time. Number one, I'm not working a full-time job, in addition to the full-time job of being a pastor, in addition to the full-time job of being a parent. I only have one full-time job. I'm just a pastor, and I'm a mom. And I'm gonna have at least 8 or 9 weeks off of speaking, which is like double the time. And then after that, I've arranged to have a couple people fill in like once a month for a little while so that I can have a little break for that as well. I have someone who's gonna do all the heavy lifting. So the setup and tear down that I normally do every Sunday is gonna be taken care of for 3 months after the baby is born, which I'm so relieved about. And I have someone I trust to do that, which is just delightful. So I'm really, really grateful to be in a different position than I was with Nova. I am really grateful. And it's gonna be hard. Like, I know it's gonna be hard. It is hard no matter what situation you are in when you have a new baby. That's just not an easy thing to do. And it will be difficult for me specifically because for probably a year after that baby is born, we're not gonna have any kind of childcare whatsoever for it. That's what we had with Nova. It's very, very likely that that will be similar for this baby. Maybe even longer because Nova goes to a babysitter, but if we send another kid, that's like double. Which actually, that's one of the things on the SoKind list of like intangible gifts is for the 12 weeks after this baby is born, I would love to be able to send Nova to the babysitter. Right now she goes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for 3 hours in the morning. I'd love to be able to send her on Thursday mornings and prepay that so I don't even have to think about it, so that for 3 months after this baby is born, every single day we will get, me and the baby, a couple hour break where we can just sleep. Or if the baby won't sleep, like I can at least not be focusing on a toddler as well. So yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this. I really do feel very hormonal today. Not that that's a bad thing necessarily, but I just feel I'm not as tired as my emotions are making me feel. Like normally if I'm this emotional, it's because I'm tired, like really, really, really tired. And I haven't been sleeping that well. It's a wonderful symptom of this pregnancy that I'm just like awake all the time. I'm not anxious, I'm not thinking about anything. I haven't had sugar or caffeine. There's nothing going on other than hormones are keeping me awake. So yeah, I don't know. It's been a weird day, but overall it has not been a bad week. And if you're like the praying type or the good vibes to the universe type, like send me some, that this roof will get done and the construction will keep going, because I'm feeling a bit stressed about that. And I hope I'll have some great yarny content for you in another 2 weeks, which will be the first week in June. Oh my gosh, we're halfway through 2023 already. That's horrifying. I really, really want to work on that cowl and my Heckler cardigan, and hopefully you may see those same 4 projects next time. I'm gonna get like maybe 10 rows done on the super bulky grandpa and work on my Heckler and my cowl, and then have, when I'm officiating weddings, time to work on those socks just a little bit. So yeah, I don't know how to end this episode. I just want to say thank you to everyone, like not just for watching, like that means everything to me that you care to spend an hour of your time with me every 2 weeks, but for commenting and for liking and for actually just even caring, for making my patterns, for supporting me with everything that you do, for supporting Nova when she was tiny, for those of you who have cared to even ask if I'm making a registry, like that means a lot to me. For those of you who support me on Patreon, I don't know how to say thank you for all of that. I feel like I come on here, especially lately, and ramble and can't keep a straight thought in my head for nothing. And y'all still come and want to hang out. It's like, I feel like we're just hanging out as friends, and I hope that's true for you, because I do feel like y'all are my friends. I feel like you're an extended part of my friend list, and some of you I have met in person, and it's just been delightful. It's like picking up, there's never any awkwardness. There's never any like, who are you? It's more like, oh, it's so good to finally meet the person that I've been talking to for so long. So I just really, really appreciate every single person who is watching this video. You make my life better. And this is something I look forward to. And crochet and knitting is something that keeps me grounded, sane, and creative. I know it is the same for many of y'all, and I just truly have nothing but love for all of you. Now she's standing. What are the odds she skips a nap today? Until I see you again, happy crafting. Be kind to yourself. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're working on. And I will see you again in 2 weeks. Or if you are a friend of mine on Instagram, follow me on Instagram, because I hang out there like almost every day. You see me in the Insta stories all the time, and a lot of times Nova. Bye, friends.